All right, next deal. Guys, I don't know if I told you, I was a rehabber, right? So the reason, when I was rehabbing, one of my biggest nightmares was in 2012, 2013, when I was doing a condo conversion in DC. And it should have been a $300,000 profit and be done in 6 months. Guess what happened? It ended up taking 18 months to do, and I made $2,000. And thank God, I was like praying. I'm like, thank God I didn't lose like a ton of money on this thing. But because I had signed a personal guarantee with a hard money lender, that hard money lender made all the money for 18 months. I had all the issues you could imagine. Permits with DC, contractors, messing things up, no one showing up. So that's not fun. After that experience, I said I need to find another way, because I owned rental properties. And a lot of rehabbers out there that don't have any assets, they don't care to sign personal guarantees or pay high the high interest rates. I care, because 2008 was too fresh in my mind, what happened, and I was not about to lose everything that I worked so hard for by signing off a personal guarantee and having a hard money lender come after my other assets. Okay? So when I came across this, I said, I won the lottery. That's how I felt. I'm like, this deal, it's in a gated community. It's actually 5-10 minutes from my house. So we marketed to the seller. We do a lot of direct mail marketing. We do marketing ourselves. So the seller called us, and this house was on the market a couple months. It didn't sell. In a gated community, it was listed at $575. And when I got the information over the phone, always make sure to get as much information before you go on the appointment, right? So I knew that he had a loan of $160,000, and that's it. All of the rest was equity. So my first thought was like, he is not gonna be that flexible. I'm like, he's gonna want all the equity up front. Do I want to bother going? Guys, I've had those thoughts, and I bought so many deals with high equity that don't think that. Always go on the appointment. Unless you have, if you have more than 3 to 5 appointments a week, okay, then that you can avoid going to one. But if you don't have 3 to 5 appointments a week, you should go to every appointment you can go to. So I went to the seller. Come to find out, he was a real estate broker in Maryland for over 20 years, and he was a police chief. Do you think that could intimidate someone? I mean, like, I wasn't, because I've been in real estate for so long, but someone who's starting out, and that's why it's important to build credibility, to have a presentation, and be prepared. So I sat with the seller. I said, listen, I cannot bring all this money to the table. We don't work that way. The most we can do is, so I structured terms. The great thing is that he was flexible. So because he was flexible, I was like, all right, so maybe we're gonna work something out here. So I gave him an offer. The first house, actually, let me backtrack. The first house, we signed the purchase and sales agreement at my first appointment at the house, right? I've closed a bunch of houses on my first appointment because I was not prepared. This house, he called me a week after, but my offer was this. My offer was, I'm willing to bring you $50K down, okay? If I take over the existing loan of $160, and the remaining $313, if you're willing to sell or finance it for me for $1,200 a month. I asked for 10 years. He called me a week later and said, by the way, I'm getting old, I don't want to wait 10 years. Can we do it for 7? I said, let's do it. So we scheduled the closing. What I did, my exit on this was, I had 7 years, right? So the longer I wait, the more money I make. So I found a tenant to do a lease option. I call them tenant buyers, right? Because they're a tenant and a buyer. To do a 4-year lease option, all right? At $28.50 a month. I know it's hard to see the numbers, so I'm giving you the numbers. $28.50 a month, that's my rent. My mortgages are $2,600, so I'm cash flowing $250 a month. So the first mortgage, remember, that's $160. That's with a bank. That's about $1,400, and now I'm paying the seller, or the previous owner. I'm the owner now, or I was, $1,200 at a 0% interest rate. Guys, at a 0% interest rate, okay? So, when the tenant buyer exercised the option in 4 years, I made over $150,000 on this house, and I didn't really do anything. Oh, we painted like 2 rooms. That's it. My lease option was for $585, and I bought it at $523. So the difference from my buying price to my seller price was $62,000. I cash flowed $12,000, and I had principal reduction on both loans of over $76,000. So I made $150,800. So technically over 302% return on my money, on my $50K. Now,